Okay, hello, welcome to Beau, Hannam Guitars and Ukuleles. This is a special Christmas gift idea edition. My first ever. See how it goes. So what I'm going to show you is items that are both small and cost little, and larger items which cost a bit, like, you know, $400. But they're items which won't be expected, or your luthier partner, repairer, whoever, might not have or have thought about owning. There's some things here which I haven't used or haven't owned for 20 years because I didn't think I needed it, and then I just got it and I love it. So there's a whole mixture in here, and there's going to be links in the description for all of them as well. So let's get on with it. The first one I'm going to tell you about is a subscription to Guild of American Luthiery. They've been around since 1972, and they were, you know, obviously before YouTube, and they were the first people to teach people how to make stuff. Well, not the first, but they were up there. And you get 4 of these color editions, periodicals, and 1 extra sort of thing that the topic changes. So they're excellent. They're a really good bunch of people, and they deserve to live forever, basically. They also produce books. This is one of them. This is volume 7 of the Big Red Book of American Luthiery. Some of these are sold out, but you can get them for $50. So just think about that. If you haven't seen one of these around the house, this is the latest issue. If you haven't seen one of these, then your partner probably doesn't have it, so that would be a good thing to get them. Okay, man, I'm surrounded by stuff. Okay, Stuart McDonald nut vise. I didn't own this for about 15 years, and I got one, and I use it for every instrument that I make. For nuts and saddles, this goes into, you can put it on here, but you can put it in the larger vise, and it works really well. It's so much easier to make a nut and saddle. Another really cool new product is one by LMI called Royal Blackwood, and it's actually torrefied purple heart, and it's a sustainable ebony substitute, and they do fingerboards and head plates and bridge blanks, and it's an amazing product, and do check them out. This is a bit of a side thing. You can't have enough wax paper. Put this in the stocking, and your partner will love you for it. I go through this a lot, so good stuff. Another thing with this wax paper are these holders, and I have 3. You can get these from Lowe's, and they're really good. They're like $5 each, and I have wax paper on here, Bounty on here, and Viva Towel on here for finishing and general cleanup. This is a gun holster. No, it's not a holster. It's a gun holder. So normally the gun would go in here, but for Luthiery, the neck goes in here, and it's really good. It's really heavy, and I also use it for routing jobs. So you can get them from Cabela's or Bass Warehouse, whatever it's called. Something about Bass. This is a ProTech Tour model. I think they're about $60. This is from Elevate Luthiery, and it's a rolling pin sander, and I use this for every build now on the sides to sand sides. If your significant Luthiery other doesn't have one of these, they'll get it and love you for it. Also from Elevate Luthiery is they've got many things going from like $10 or maybe $20 up to, I don't know, $400. This is the mortise and tenon jig. They do a dovetail, and they're excellent. They're American made, all aluminum or aluminium if you're Australian, and they're just well thought out and good. I like the company. I like Chris, who runs it. This is from Stuart McDonald. It's a string spacing rule, but it's for a nut. So, but you can also use it for saddles as well. To tie in with that is a graphite mechanical pencil that I think LMI sell, and Amazon also sell it. It's the Graph Gear 500, and that fits in here, but you can use this with a normal pencil as well. But I've only just started using this, and I've never gone back. They're great. And they're, I don't know, $30 and $7, something like that. The marvellous Robbie O'Brien has just launched a new online teaching program called the Luthier Academy, and he teaches a whole bunch of different courses on repair and building, finish work. It's really got everything. So if you live in a place which is hard to get one-on-one teaching, this is really the next best thing. And they range from $70 up to about $400, and they go for, an hour up to, 24 hours, I think, maybe even 30 hours. And it's a really excellent resource for those who can't get but want one-on-one training. Here is a good stocking stuffer for any repairer, luthier, which is the same thing. Tight bond. But put that in your stocking and stuff it. I don't know, but you will always do well with a bottle of Type On. It's $3.80 in America and about $12 in Australia. I just got back from Australia. Another thing from Stuart McDonald is this saw, which has got a curved blade on it. It's really good for cutting down braces, and you can see when you're about to hit the top or back. Really good. This is from Music Nomad. It's a case humidifier. I send these out with every order. This one particularly it's about $17, and it comes with this thing which you connect to on the inside of the case, but you can also put it in the strings and the sound hole. And the good thing about these is the foam holds more water than your average sponge. So the Dario ones, and they use kind of a dishwashing sponge, which just isn't as good. So that's good. Optivisor from Stuart McDonald. Actually from Optivisor, but Stuart McDonald sell these. I think LMI sell them too, but I wish I was wearing one of these in my 20s because they're good. Good for doing inlay work, detailed stuff, whatever. And speaking of inlay work, surgical blades. So these are scalpel blades, number 3 scalpel blades, round, long and thin and sort of standard. And a box of 100 surgical blades, number 11 is probably the one you want, and it's like $10 for 100. Here's a kind of a one from left field. This brand of ice cream and gelato, very tasty, but then I put Q-tips in there, and I've probably got 10 of these around the place, and I put ebony dust in, and I find these really helpful. So get some ice cream, some Q-tips, then put them together, and that's good. Stuart McDonald sell pedal making kits. This is for a clone, or it's the clone of a clone, and you can put it together. This costs $100, but they've got other smaller pedals for cheaper and larger ones that are more expensive. So that's good. I've still got to do that. Can someone remind me to do that video? This tape is from LMI. It's binding tape, brown binding tape. You can never have too much of that if you're a luthier. This dispenser is from StewMac, and it's got 3 different size tapes on it. Really good. It's really heavy, and it doesn't slip when you're pulling tape out. So there's going to be links in the description for all this, so just look for all the links. Chunk of Teflon. It's always handy, cheap. You'll have to go on Amazon or eBay to find that. StewMac, LMI, maybe Allied Luthiers sell double-sided tape. Always good. StewMac sell this really good low tack tape, which is excellent. I use this on every build. Can't have too much of all that stuff. Tape is just fantastic. My favorite CA glue for woodworking is Starbond. There is the thin, the medium, and the accelerator. Really good stuff. It's made fresh and it works really well. Music Nomad do these relief gauges for necks that just have the 3 feeler gauges, which are for the common things like electric guitar, steel string, and classical and uke. So instead of buying one with like 50,000 feeler gauges, you just have 3. This one's for measuring string slots in a nut, and it's just a handy way to figure out where you are. More beginners kind of thing. There's other ways to do it, but it is a very good way to do it if you're a beginner or just want to quickly check or show someone, when you're repairing something for them. This is a microplane. It's actually a zester in a kitchen, but I use it for carving necks. I actually broke this, so it does have a handle, and I'll put a link up, but I've got to buy another one. Allied Luthier, they sell wood, and Adam over there is really nice, and he accommodates you and everyone else for the specific requirements that they need. They offer a CNC service, and this fingerboard is a special CNC custom job for me. This is a ukulele, and it's got purfling around the edge. Really good, quite affordable, and I recommend it. A good quality digital verniers. This is from StewMac, and I've had probably 10 cheap versions of this over the years, but this one is the best, and it's the most expensive, but it's the most expensive because it's the best one I've seen. There's probably better ones for more expensiveness, but this one's really good for 70 bucks. Works great, hasn't failed me yet, unlike all the other pieces of junk I've bought off Grizzly and Harbor Freight and stuff like that, because I am stingy. StewMac sell these really good notched straight edges, which have a straight edge on the top. There's like a UFO kind of profile here. This is a short scale, and this is a long scale, so these are great for repair work, and I also use them for building, and they go hand in hand with the Music Nomad relief gauge. So you put that under here so you can just tell in a second how much relief a neck has if it comes in for a repair. Another thing from Music Nomad is some polishing products, which I've just started using. I really like them. This is the cleaning polishing product for gloss finishes. It's the Guitar 1. This is the fingerboard oil, F1 oil. They're good, smell good, do the job good. Stick it sandpaper. If you get 80 grit up to 320 grit, that's kind of the woodworking part of it, up to 400 maybe. I stick these on various items that I've got, but this is just a piece of plywood with 2 bits of different grit on each one. They're good. They're from LMI and StewMac. You can get them on Amazon too, different brands. They're 3M, I think. I mentioned the Guild of American Luthier membership, which costs about $70, I think, something like that. There's another thing which I meant to mention, which is the Stuart McDonald Stew Max, and it's about $50 a year. You get free shipping, and more importantly, you get discounts on a whole bunch of stuff, including, especially for me, books. So I showed you the Big Red Book of American Luthier. They have just that's number 7, and it's half price, so instead of 50 bucks it's $25. They have other ones. I'm not sure if they got all of these, if they've got this one. I know LMI does, but this book is really good. It's by John Bogdanovich, Classical Guitar Making. Even if you don't make classical guitars, it's a really good purchase because it's only 25 to 30 bucks, and it's got a lot of beautiful photos in it. It's about an inch thick, lots of info. Interesting info on how to make solid linings and laminating sides, and just other stuff. You always pick up tips when you read a book on any instrument. Another good book by Graham McDonald is The Mandolin, A History. It's, as it sounds like, a history of the mandolin. I don't make mandolins, but I really like that book. Another one from StewMac is this Coffee Table Expensive book. This is about $170, and it's just nice pictures with some information at the back on bracing on classical guitars. So when you get the StewMax thing, you get this half price, so it's good. And just to reiterate how good this book is, 25 bucks, 170. I mean, thickness doesn't mean a lot, but it's kind of, don't know why that one's so expensive. But it's a good book. to break up the book thing, I'm going to go to Ryan Gerber's. These are my new favourite tool, actually. Ryan Gerber's scrapers. Ryan is a mate of mine, excellent luthier, and he makes these incredible little scrapers which you take off finishing. They're on his website or Instagram. I'll just leave a link for all of that. But these are really new, like in the last year, I think. So your Luthiery significant other or insignificant other probably wouldn't have these, and they're actually amazing. No joke, they're really good. Another book, a classic, Dan Earlywine. This is the 3rd edition, and it's just got so many useful tips on guitar making, repairing. I don't know how high the action was for BB King, but that's got it in it, and it's also got factory specs in it. So, and also excellent information on just how to do a repair job. If they don't have that book, definitely buy them. This is another tome. These are very modern, slightly complicated, but you don't have to worry about the math. These books are just fantastic. There's Gerard himself. They're pretty expensive. StewMax sell them, but even half price, they're like $150, I think, but they're well worth it. Another thing StewMax sell is the Urban Samoji 2-volume set. Any luthier would like these as well. So I think that's about it. There's so many more things that I could talk about. I've got so many tools and bits that I use all the time, but I just thought I'd try and do some left fieldy things, especially the Vegemite. That was a joke, by the way. But it's just stuff like the mechanical pencil. I love this. And these, I only just been using this year, and I love the notch straight edge. I used to think the notch straight edge was a gimmick, and then I started using it, especially for repair and post-build when I've strung something up after I threaded it. I use it all the time, so I won't bore you with any of that. But that is my show and tell, I think. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you learnt something. I hope... Oh, one more thing. This StewMax mat, I forgot to mention it. I've got 3 of these, and they're really good. That's why I got 3. All right, that's it. Hope you'll learn something. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, let me know what you think should have been included in here. I tried to put stuff in that I didn't think a luthier or repair person would already have, like string nippers or fret cutters or something. I mean, everyone's already got them. So hopefully I've detailed a few things which they wouldn't normally have. I forgot to mention cam clamps. Can't have too many of them. I could just keep going, but I won't. I've got to stop. So I hope gave you some ideas. Good luck. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Subscribe, like, buy, comment.